What this series is turning out to be is exactly what I really wanted to see with Chaos Head. Chaos Child is literally, it's very similar in pretty much every way with the main plot points that have been revealed, but it just feels like everything is being executed far better than in the original anime. Now, I'm sure the visual novel was perfectly fine, but I'm just talking about the anime here. But we got a lot of information here. I mean, we really, with this episode, before we even talk about the big reveal and how all the powers happened the way they did, something that's really enjoyable to me about this episode is how much we're seeing our main character break. As think about what he's gone through. He's lost his sister. I mean, his best friend kills his sister without willingly doing it. The one he grew up with all along isn't the one he truly grew up with. Like, everything about his reality is being shattered and broken. And this episode really portrays his mentality shattering and breaking very well. I thought it was very believable with how he's acting, how he's losing himself at times, and how he just doesn't understand what's real or what's fake. It's something that I really appreciate with how they're developing his characters. It feels very believable with how he's reacting. But this episode at the core, this was the info episode explaining how everything's going down. How did these characters end up with the powers that they had? And like I told everyone last week here, the one who did everything here was Onoe. I mean, that was crystal clear with the frog and everything like this, but if people didn't clue in, this episode confirms it like right at the beginning. But we get to learn is they're doing pretty much the same thing that happened in the original anime. Someone that appears to be real isn't real. It's a delusion that was made into a reality. But instead of it being the main character who's the delusion, this time around Onoe is actually someone that Taku made because he wanted a friend, pretty much. That back in the day, that his delusion, he had this imaginary friend, and he pretty much, with his gigglomaniac abilities, brought her into the real world. And he's never met her parents, and the way it's kind of explained is like, have you ever met her parents? No, but how do you know they're there? Why did she only ever interact with you? Why was she the only one who actually talked to you? Like, why did no one else talk to her, kind of thing? This is all a delusion that Taku made with his powers back in the day, and kind of opposite to what happened in the original anime, the main character of that anime was the delusion. So I thought it was really interesting seeing that. It's very identical. Like, there's not many differences between this anime and the last one, but it feels like this is the properly executed version of it, and I'm perfectly fine with that. But it's really interesting as we do get the information on how everything's happening the way it did. Back when that earthquake happened, there was this white light, and everyone who was around there seemed to have these similar things. They had this massive headache, and throughout stress and what was going on in their mind, it resulted in their psychic powers coming to terms. And back in the day, it all kind of happened in the same way, where everyone sort of made a wish, which we saw Senri make her wish, saying that, take me, I want to be able to take her place. And that's when, with the state of her mind, the stress and everything that was happening in her mind, with that wish, that gave her ability. And we already know, it seems that Taku's ability is a sort of like reality manipulation, sort of a thing, where his delusions can become reality, and there's a lot of things going on there. But it was really interesting just seeing how they, in some ways, felt fast-paced, but it didn't feel poorly fast-paced. Like, there was a lot of information. I mean, this is a one-core anime. They are going to be doing, I assume, probably like the good ending or something for this visual novel. And sure, there's going to be people who are saying, oh, but this is like a 70 or 100-hour visual novel. If you want all the information, you go play the visual novel. This is an anime. It's just trying to tell you the story without making it so you need to play the visual novel to understand it. As someone who hasn't played the visual novel, I absolutely understand this. I feel like yes, there was a lot of information. You couldn't look away or anything like that, but it did feel like they gave the proper time to explain how the powers came to be, and I thought it was actually done fairly well, while also giving us enough time to see Taku's character just kind of break and just not know who he is anymore. In terms of the actual visual presentation, as it does seem like the past couple weeks there has been some production issues, I thought there wasn't many dips throughout this episode. I thought it was very consistently good quality episode, but it really, like, the voice acting and just the individual OST tracks they were using was actually very well done to kind of set the mood very well. But in terms of how much information was given, despite there being so much information, I didn't feel lost or felt like this was too fast, we needed this to be 2 episodes. No, I thought for this being 1 episode, it was fine for this to be 1 episode. There was no rushing, in my opinion. It felt properly paced and just really sets the stage for the final few episodes, because it does feel like we're getting in that final stretch now, which isn't surprising as this is only going to be a 1-core. But I did like how they explained everything, how everything now 100% makes sense, and if you did watch the original anime, you're seeing so many similarities to the original, but most people who've only watched the anime, like myself, are probably thinking this is how Chaos Head should have been, as this is properly perfectly executed, unlike the first anime. But I had a lot of fun with this episode. I mean, there's not much to theorize, really. It's a matter of seeing what's going to happen to Onoe. Is she going to be able to live as she is, just a fake delusion brought into this world by our main character? What exactly is going to ultimately happen? Who's going to live? I mean, everyone's getting their shit slashed in, like people are dying left or right, or getting close to dying left and right. It's going to be interesting how they wrap this up in comparison to the original anime, and I mean, I could speculate for days how they're going to end this, but really, I'm just going to be excited to see what happens, or when more information gets revealed, what I can speculate from there. But I had a blast with this episode. I thought it was really well done. A lot of information, but it was a lot of good information paced very well. But I'd be interested to hear from people who watched this episode. Did you love it? Did you hate it? What do you think of all the reveals with all the information? How did you like the reveal on how the powers came to be with the stress in their mind and them making a wish? I thought it was very well done. Let me know your thoughts, and be sure to hit that like button to show your support. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. So until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.